Congressman Jim Jordan is going to serve as the chair of this new church committee or church-style committee, this committee that the House is going to convene on FBI accountability. You'll remember the church committee was holding the CIA accountable. It's when MK Ultra and these experiments that the CIA was inflicting on the American people were exposed. Well, this new committee for FBI accountability is going to be chaired by Jim Jordan, which I find to be the best news that I've heard in a long time. I'm very happy about this. But what I want to say about this before we get to Brazil is what I want from this committee and what I don't want from the committee. What I don't want from the committee is just showmanship. What I don't want from this committee is a lot of viral clips on Twitter. That's fine. Viral clips on Twitter are useful. They're good to expose the corruption to the American people. They help build political capital. But I don't want only that. And I think that oftentimes in House committees and investigations and hearings, that's what we get. We get congressmen and congresswomen who use these interviews, use their minutes of questioning of witnesses just to get these video clips. And there's no accountability mechanism that follows. It's just a way for the politician to humiliate the subject, which may be deserved. That's fine. I'm not opposed to that. But that shouldn't be the end goal. The end goal should be accountability. So what I don't want from this committee is for it just to be a show committee. We've had enough of that from both Democrats and Republicans. What I want from this committee is I want to see the following things. I want documents and communications and testimony from insiders at the FBI about what the FBI's mission is. And what I mean by this is the Department of Homeland Security, for example, I know that's separate from the FBI, but the Department of Homeland Security is the example I'm using here because it was created in the wake of 9/11. And the mission of the Department of Homeland Security at that time was to combat the threat of global terrorism. And the threat of global terrorism was key there because it meant seeking out radical Islamist terror cells around the world and preventing those terror cells from attacking us here on our homeland. But once that threat had been, I don't want to say neutralized because I know ISIS is still a thing and radical Islam is always going to be a threat. But the Department of Homeland Security retooled their mission. They now focus their search for terrorists domestically, here in the United States. And they label us, conservatives, Christians, parents who oppose critical race theory, as terrorists. I want to see how the FBI has retooled their mission because I suspect I would stake a lot of money and my reputation on the fact that the FBI has retooled their mission in a way that puts us in the crosshair. And I want to see proof of this. I want to see their definition of everything because this is the FBI. Project Veritas revealed that the FBI has internal training documents that label us. I have a flag flying at my house, the don't tread on me flag. People who fly that flag have been labeled as possible militia extremists, militia violent extremists by the FBI. I want to see all of this kind of stuff. I want to see all of this. And then I want to see the personnel who was behind this. Who wrote this? Who approved this? Who disseminated this? I want to see the names and the faces of these people, and I want to hear testimony from them, and then I want them fired. I want to see all the emails that the FBI has ever sent. What we're seeing with the Twitter files right now, I want to see the FBI files. I want all the documents, all the databases of all the FBI communications, and I want them combed through by journalists of integrity. Most importantly, I want the emails between the FBI and elected officials. I think that we will be surprised, but also won't be surprised by what we see. I want investigations into January 6th, the role the FBI played in January 6th. I want investigations into the pipe bomber outside of the DNC. Can we finally get some answers on that from this committee? I want an investigation into the Gretchen Whitmer Fednapping and the role the FBI played in that. I want an investigation into the Mar-a-Lago raid when the FBI raided President Trump because of some argument he was having with the National Archives about whether or not the letter that Kim Jong-un wrote to him belonged to him or belonged to the federal government. I want all of that investigated. And ultimately, the end goal of this is not just exposing the corruption which exists. It's not just exposing the weaponization of the FBI against us. The ultimate goal of this should be the FBI being abolished.